join us on the program right now. David Adams, the president of the Virginia Shooting Sports Association. And, David, I appreciate you staying up tonight, sir.
Only for you, Cam.
Listen, David has to get up at, what, about 3:30 tomorrow morning?
Yeah, thereabout.
Oh, Lord, I'm so sorry. But I do appreciate the interview. Let's get right to it. The news story from the Virginian Pilot in Norfolk, Virginia today, front page story. Virginia's hunting dog law finds itself in the crossroads. And so once again, we are talking about this issue in Virginia that is affecting the rights of hunters across the state, right?
Yes.
And the issue is basically whether or not the traditions of hunting with hounds will continue as they have been taking place for hundreds of years, predating the foundation of this country, or whether or not new rules are going to be put in place.
Right.
Now, where do things stand now, and then what are the proposed rules that we're talking about?
Well, the Board of Game and Inland Fisheries meets on Thursday to take up the recommendations of the Stakeholder Advisory Committee, which was formed, DGIF, which for those outside of Virginia, is Department of Game and Inland Fisheries, contracted with Virginia Tech to put together the Hunting with Hounds Stakeholder Advisory Committee. The committee heard from numerous stakeholder groups. They had deerhound hunters, raccoon hunters, bear hound. Then they put in some private landowner focus groups, non-hound hunter focus groups, non-hunter focus groups, and that seems to be that particular group is where some of the hunters have had some problems with DGIF. But the main proposal that seems to be of concern to hound hunters has to do with the right to retrieve law that is Virginia. Currently, hunters can go on private property to retrieve their dogs as long as they're not hunting while they're doing it, meaning they can't carry their firearm or they can't carry their bow. Now, most people that are hunting with dogs are hunting with firearms. I personally don't know any folks that bow hunt with hounds.
Okay.
And by far, your deer hunters and probably your fox hunters are probably the ones that have the dogs that would go on and to other people's property. You know, I have a bird dog. Bird dogs are generally close working. They stay within eye shot of you. You don't have to worry about them going off straying on somebody else's property. But deer hounds, obviously, they get scent of that deer and they just take off. And until that deer is gone or shot, you know, they're going to still go after that deer. Same way with the fox. There has been a segment of the population, and some of them are hunters, that say they need to change the right to retrieve statute. Every time that's come before the General Assembly, it has died. I think what the concern is now is that what the department has come up with is that hunters need to make a reasonable attempt to try to get permission. Now, I would say the majority of hunters are already doing that. They may not do it on the day of the hunt. What they've probably done is say, look, you know, your property adjoins the property where our hunt club has property. If our dogs stray, can we have permission to come get your dogs? And likely most landowners are appreciative of that and say yes. It's probably a handful of bad apples that are not doing that and are encroaching on people's private property, even though the law says they can. And that is what has caused complaints to the Board of Game and Inland Fisheries, and they put together this committee to look at the issue. There's a number of recommendations, but I think the one that has most people concerned has to do with that right to retrieve.
Yeah, and again, this could come up for a vote on Thursday of this week?
It definitely will. It's on the agenda. The recommendations will be put forward. Now, all they will do is either accept or reject the recommendations. If they accept them, nothing changes right now. At that point, the board will then determine what regulations will be put in place and when those regulations would take place. And in the Commonwealth, just like any other state, if you put regulations out there, they have to be put up for public comment before they can become effective anyway. But I got to tell you, I got an email tonight from some of the folks that are interested in this issue, and apparently in one of the local newspapers in Charlotte County, a full-page color ad was placed, and there was this quote in the ad: "The ugly reality of Virginia's hound hunting, quote, tradition means the abandonment of dogs too old or sick to keep up with the chase, as well as widespread trespassing by hunters on posted property. So I don't know if that was the Humane Society put that out. It's obviously somebody who, or a group that is against hound hunting, is out there. I understand there was a full-color ad as well in the Richmond Times-Dispatch today. I didn't see the edition because I only get the weekend, so I don't know if it was the same ad. But clearly, the anti-hunting folks are taking this as an opportunity to start chipping away at a tradition that's been in Virginia for centuries. And in fact, if you were to pull up the summaries of the different focus groups on the DGIF website, and you go to the non-hunters, I mean, you see things like you can always tell when you leave Albemarle County and enter Fluvanna County because you start seeing dead dogs along the edge of the road. You know, I do know that dogs may take a while to be retrieved, but I mean, the anti-hunters and the animal rights groups are taking this as their opportunity, and that's where some of the hound hunter constituents are concerned that DGIF even gave those people a voice in this. They think that it probably should have only been the hound hunters and people that hunt that was involved in this, not pulling in the non-hunters.
All right, well, David, that music means unfortunately we're out of time. You get some sleep, and maybe we can talk to you Thursday afternoon and find out how things went.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. David Adams, president of the Virginia Shooting Sports Association, with us on the program tonight. Hour 2 is coming up next. Keep it right here. We'll be right back.